Hello and welcome to the second video. I fear that this video will become noisy video for me. As you maybe have seen at the title, or I think it's not that difficult to come to the clue that I will talk about the words of Jacinda Ardern. To be honest with you, I do not understand the United States. She said this, for me, iconic words in an interview for CNN, Amanpour, and they talked about that New Zealand was capable to restrict the possession of guns very fast after mass shooting, and why the United States of America is not capable there too. I do not understand the United States. That's a feeling a lot of people in Europe, obviously New Zealand, and around the world have. I don't want to talk about in this video about this feeling or why. It's not meant in a way that, at least from my side, that you point your finger to the United States and say, oh look, there's racism in the United States. Or, oh look, millions of Americans have no health care. Things like that. Because racism you have around the world. And by the way, even a black person can be a racist. An Asian can be a racist. A Latino can be a racist. So racism is not exclusively for whites. By the way, I think also you have to be honest with you. It's also part of to be honest. And you have also inequalities in Germany, for example, not only in the United States of America. So I do not understand the United States, nor means to blame the United States of America for racism or social inequality or things like that. You have this in every country on the world. But what's difficult to understand is that that's it. You see no progress, no real progress in the United States of America. And gun law is a very, very good example, therefore. I was 27 in 1992, and I saw the pictures from Los Angeles on TV and thought, oh man, they're crazy in the United States of America. Now we have 2020. What has changed? I started writing around 5 years ago. I started, or it's the second text I've written, reflects, and the last part, it has 3 parts, and the last part's about the Sandy Hook massacre, shooting at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. And today we have 2020. What has changed? And in between was Las Vegas. What more than Las Vegas you need to reflect about your gun laws and come to the point that you need a change. Something has to happen, and not only that say, maybe pump stocks, maybe. That's not enough. And that's what's so difficult to understand. That again and again and again and again and again and again it happens, and nothing really changes. And looking at the demonstrators on the streets every day in the United States now, should you believe that there will real change at the end? Okay, a lot will develop with next POTUS and things like that, obviously. But nevertheless, it's difficult to assume that, wow, this time there will real change. Not that I can choose my seat on the bus later. Fine, very kind, sir. But there's real change. Okay, I've said that I want to try to make these videos in one set, but yeah, maybe with such a topic it's okay to have from time to time a break. So let's continue. Again and again, these mass shootings. Nothing happens. Nothing really happens. Nothing fundamental changes there. No fundamental changes there. Sometimes you have the feeling that the people of the United States of America are unable to look at the world around them. Look at Germany. For me as a private person, it's impossible. It's really impossible for me to buy me a gun. More, I even cannot buy every knife. If a knife is too long or something like that, I cannot buy it in Germany. Very often the United States of America argues you need a weapon to protect yourself. It gives you a feeling of safety, to be sure. To be honest, if I would know that my neighbor, there I see my neighbor's house, if he would own a gun, this would not give me the feeling of security that I also would own a gun in my drawer somewhere. Why? You know, these classic situations between neighbors, that you have a quarrel, argumentation. In Germany this would end that one neighbor would shout to the other neighbor, I sue you. We see us in front of the court again. So it's a kind of tradition that the neighbors sue each other. But what not can happen in Germany, that I'm upset, go in my house, fetch my gun and kill him. Because I have no gun. And he either has no gun. I can go to the kitchen and fetch a kitchen knife, and I'm cook. I have real fine kitchen knives. But it's a bit difficult to kill somebody with a knife, especially if you run with your kitchen knife to your neighbor. He will run away. Or close the door or something like that. Even if you run away, I can run behind him. But that's a fine situation. But if you have a gun, you make bang, 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 then he's dead. He has some bullets in his back. That's the difference. if police stop my car in Germany, I know that the situation is somewhat relaxed. Because the police officer knows in all normal situations I will have no gun in my car. This gives the police officer a feeling of security. And me either. But if the police officer has to think, there's a good chance that this man has a gun in his car, this not creates a feeling of security. This creates a feeling of insecurity. But I have the feeling that you can tell this to American people 1,000 times. They should look how many people die by gun violence in countries who have restricted gun laws and things and things and things. How many mass shootings we have in Germany? We have had mass shootings in Germany. For example, a young man killed, I'm not sure, 3, 4, 5 people in Munich. He bought the gun in the darknet. And only a handgun. More he wasn't able to. In the United States I go to shops and buy me whatever I want. More or less, it depends on the states obviously. But you feel that there's a different situation. And a different feeling. Guns not create a feeling of security. The absence of guns creates a feeling of security. So that's about guns. But again, the problem is, and again, this for me is in the art, and if all this gun violence, if all these dead peoples, if incidents like Sandy Hook, like Las Vegas, is not enough to cause fundamental changes in the United States of America, what has to happen that you see a fundamental change in the United States of America? And now back to racism. Should I think that this time there will be real change? If this president will have a second term, wow, I don't want to think about this. Joe Biden? What upsets me, for example, is to see him together with Hillary Clinton. And not only one time so far. Wow. She knows how to win elections, yes? And maybe I'm wrong now, but I not saw Joe Biden so far together with Bernie Sanders. So I follow his channel on Facebook, for example, Joe Biden. I saw him with Hillary Clinton, but not with Bernie Sanders. Why? I not saw him with one of these young women from Senate, from the House, one of these young congresswomen. I not saw him. Of course, his vice president will be a woman now, and of course a woman of color. Thank you, Mr. Biden. that I now can choose my seat on the bus. That's very nice, sir. But that's cosmetic. That's no real change. So I'm doubtful, to be honest with you, that Joe Biden will be capable and established Democrats, centrists, Clinton Dems, call them like you want to call them, for real change. And I've written about it. Too many people say too many words for me now at the moment in the United States of America. All are upset about racism in a way that, wow, we have racism in the United States of America. No. We have gun violence in the United States of America. That's new to me. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. I'm German. Germany in 2020. Germany in 1940. Gas chambers. Concentration camps. Not only Jews, but also gay people, Sinti, Roma, communists, people of different political opinions were killed in concentration camps. It's not here the place to talk about all the details in the Cold War then and things like that, but what strikes me is that Germany in 2020 is so much different than Germany in 1940, or even Germany in 1950 after the Second World War. So Germany has changed dramatically, really. Yeah, we have some fascists also in Germany, or inequality, social inequality. But nevertheless, you cannot think that somebody with a swastika would walk down the street in Germany again. Not only because it's forbidden by law. You cannot imagine it. You can see this in two ways now. That change is possible. But, yeah, I do not understand it. I was 2 times in the United States before. 2 times in Los Angeles and 1 time in San Francisco. So the first time only in Los Angeles and then Los Angeles and San Francisco. In Los Angeles, Chinatown, there's a nice bakery, Wonder Bakery. And one time I sat in front of Wonder Bakery and with a cup of coffee, a cake, and I started to read my Los Angeles Times. That was in the morning. an old Chinese man sat beside me, and I cannot remember how he starts the conversation, but he starts the conversation. And I only said some words. Then he asked me, "Oh, you're from Germany? Your accent?" And I said, "Yes, I'm from Germany." And he started to tell me that he was in Germany in the 50s, in Heidelberg, and near Heidelberg, and stuff like that. And at a certain moment he asked me, "You know what the difference between Japanese and Germans is?" I not want to talk now about the relation between Japan and China. I said no, and he said, "Well, the Germans asked for forgiveness after the Second World War. They regretted what they did. The Japanese never did." I don't want to talk about the Japanese. I'm not sure if it's totally arrogant now as a German to say maybe that's the problem of the United States of America. That they never regretted what they did. And what has started very early was the first settlers and the Indians who lived there. In Germany, even today, 2020, is not. You see documentaries about the Third Reich and TV, what happened there, history, a lot of books, a lot of memorials. In the 60s especially, the young German generation, so German, not me, I'm born in 1965, so I was too young for it. But in the 60s, the young generation started a revolution. They no longer accepted the old and the old fascists. They who said nothing during the Third Reich and knew nothing what happened. And that feeling that the United States of America needs such a revolution. To talk about what happened. As the proud settlers conquered the empty land. To talk about slavery. and maybe to ask for forgiveness and to regret what happened. It's not enough to allow somebody to choose his or her seat on a bus. That's cheap. Sometimes there are certain reasons why I stayed 2 times in Los Angeles, not only one. But the first time I thought about maybe to travel to the United States of America, to Los Angeles, I started to read a little bit about Los Angeles. May I write about it, especially because it is in London at the moment. I never prepare really for travel. So I travel at a place and then I'm there. And what happens, happens, like my writing, like this video now. So I not read tourist guides, something like that. But so some basic ideas I try to get about a place. And I knew Los Angeles obviously from TV or so. Say about a TV series of in my youth, Colombo. And then I was a little bit surprised that 50% of the inhabitants of Los Angeles are Latinos. How many Latinos you see in Colombo? I cannot remember, so it's long ago, but I cannot remember that there was a Latino. I think an Afro-American from time to time maybe, but apart from that, Columbus, Los Angeles was white. But there's another 25% of inhabitants in Los Angeles, Asians and African Americans. So the white Los Angeles only 25%. And that was the final impulse for me to travel to Los Angeles. I was interested to see this 75% of Los Angeles. This other 25% were not interesting. To be honest, a place I like very much is Santa Monica and Santa Monica Beach and the pier. But apart from that, Hollywood is boring, Venice Beach is boring, Long Beach is boring. The rest of Los Angeles is very interesting. So I liked it always. So the first time I stayed in downtown West, and the second time, because the place where I stayed was rebuilt, I stayed in Westlake in a motel. The interesting point is we often have this view of the United States of America, this white United States of America. Let's talk about this white United States of America. I've wrote about that the United States of America have to decide what what they want to be. And interestingly, we have the same discussion in Germany at the moment, more or less. Who's an American? Who's a German? We have to say there's a very difficult difference, because if you're born in the United States of America, you are an American, not in Germany. It's not very easy to get in German. And to be born in Germany is far not enough. You need German ancestors. So that's a different idea of to become the inhabitant in a nation. We have the discussions what to do or how to treat as people who live in Germany, who come from other countries to Germany, and as I said, also their children born in born in Germany are no Germans. They can apply for citizenship, but they have to apply. It's not so easy. Let's make a break. Let's make a break. Let's make a break. I will finish the video now. These videos are not, the idea behind is not to make nice video with a clear structure, with a development, a climax, and whatever. It's only to find a different form to reflect about something. I hope that it became clear, obvious, that sometimes people do not understand the United States of America. It's not to blame the Americans for racism or gun violence or whatever, social insecurity, because you will find this in every country around the world. I do not understand the United States is why they are unable to draw consequences out of what happens. Sure, talk about gun violence, you can talk about the NRA and things like that. But okay. And they have bored politicians from both sides of the aisle and so on and so on. Yes, 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 yes. But how many young school children, how many people who listen to music have to die? That you come to a point that you say, maybe we should change something. Obviously, in many nations, not much is needed that the people say, wow, maybe we should ban at least assault weapons. Nobody needs an assault weapon. For what? It's a gun designed for killing people. That's the own purpose from an assault weapon, to kill people as fast and good as possible. Why somebody should need such a gun at home? But even not this functions in the United States of America. That's what I do not understand the United States means. A person in TV talked about black colleges. My first reaction was, what the fuck means this, black colleges? You need colleges. You want to have Asian colleges, Latino colleges, black colleges, white colleges. You need colleges for everybody. Should you be happy now that white and Asian and African American people are on the street together? Maybe. But the problem is that you still have a political establishment. And I think you not have to talk about GOP or so. Wow, they have one African American senator. Wow, that's cool, Lord. But I feel also that the Democrats in the structure are not really capable to real change. I've talked in one of the in California videos about it. I think the fundamental problem of the United States is their structure of their party structure and structure of elections. So the electoral college, a two-party system. In nearly all other nations in the world, you have popular vote and a multi-party system. An exception in Europe is the UK. They have no electoral college, but also a two-party system. And we see what happens in the UK at the moment with King Boris and how he handles the corona crisis. It's hard to see this, not to talk about Brexit. But to imagine that it would be possible that the United States of America would have popular vote, would abolish the electoral college, who would do it? Even the Democrats are not interested in really. So they, I see no initiative from the Democrats to change this. But I think that would be very, very necessary, because especially for minority, it's interesting, and it gives them more possibilities in a political system. I've said that Germany changed very much. Germany changed also very much during my lifetime, and one of the really very important changes was the founding of the Green Party and their development. So I can remember that at the beginning everybody laughed about it, or many laughed about the Green Party and thought, hey, they're freaks. today the Green Party is one of the major powers in Germany. But this development was possible because we have a multi-party system. Then new parties can develop. If you have only two parties, then nothing can develop really. Should you be hopeful that really something will change? The last point maybe I should talk about, what comes into my mind is, I do not understand the United States of America, or the United States is the quote, is that after all what happened in the last years with your wonderful president, not having the last month with corona crisis and the developments now with this rising numbers in many states again and so on, but also now with all these demonstrations. That still it's unclear if Joe Biden will win. I mean, what else should this president do that he definitely will lose in November? What else? In no European country, and I think also New Zealand and many other countries around the world. Obviously, in a way, in a not that extreme way, in the UK it's possible, and Brazil it's possible, as we can see. But you cannot imagine that. As an example, if a German politician would mock a handicapped person, this would end his or her career. His career would over. Only with this one point. Not to talk about other things. So we cannot understand that it's still not sure that Biden will win in November. Only this photo shooting with a Bible in his hand. You not can imagine that somebody would do this in Germany or France or Italy or Spain or whatever. Or wherever. Wow. That's in the country who elected. We elected Adolf Hitler. The Germans elected him. Yes. Maybe we have learned something. Maybe. I'm not sure, to be true. To be honest with you. So, in the last video I've talked about this love-hate relation. For me it's interesting the time Thomas has stayed in the United States of America, and I plan to be in the States in February 2021 again, but okay, obviously it's not sure at the moment if this is even possible. But to be in the United States of America, okay, I was in California, maybe also it is a little bit different, but to be in the United States of America, was very different to look at the pictures on TV, and sometimes I see the demonstration in Los Angeles, and sometimes the places I were. Yeah, but it helps not. It not helps. Because it's a matter of the people who live there. So if you hope that there's change, the people there have to change it. The people on the street, political establishment, is the GOP capable to change in any way nowadays? What will happen when Joe Biden wins? The development of the corona crisis in the United States. 200,000 dead people. Wow. The United States have 4 times the inhabitants of Germany. Only 4 times. In Germany we have, I'm not sure at the moment, I have not looked. I think still under 9,000 deaths. So between 8 and 9, towards 9,000 I think. Say 9,000. 4 times. It's 36,000. United States at the moment 100, near to 120,000. To see all these developments in the United States of America at once, it's really difficult to believe that this story will have a happy ending. On the other side, Germany 2020 and Germany 1940. I do not understand the United States. Yeah. Maybe that's the best what you can say. Thank you for listening.